Keep it going for the very funny Spence Roper.
All right, keep it going for Brian and Matt and Tre. Matt and I, we've been friends for a long time. I remember when my grandma Gladys introduced me to him, and friends ever since. It's fun to be here. Who's excited to be here? Me too. I love it. I love being here. I love being in Ogden, which is not something you hear people say that often, but I love it. I think Ogden's great. I love a place that seems like it's nice enough to be here, but probably still okay to litter. Like I love it. I'm not from here. I'm from close to here. From Cache Valley, Utah, which is like here, but without electricity. Yeah. And smells like cows. I love it. It's nice there. It's like Brian said, my name is Spence. I should introduce myself. My name is Spence. That's true. I'm not a Spencer. It is just Spence. And I'm not even saying that like I've decided to like go by this name that I've chosen for myself. It's nothing like that. Like I'm not telling you like that I was born as Spencer, but now I identify as Spence. Like I'm not trying to create a new category. There's not a GoFundMe that I'm about to tell you about. That trying to get everybody to contribute to so I can go in and have that R removed. Like I would never do that. It's like disrespectful to other people's struggles. Like I was born this way. Like I came out and my parents were looking at me and they're like, oh, look at him. He looks just like a Spence. Just Spence. We don't really see him writing the whole thing out. And so that's what they did. They made Spence. They wanted that to be one of my battles in life. Been Spence instead of Spencer. They did make my middle initial R though, just to make it super confusing. They just wanted to ruin any special occasion I might be a part of. Like I was getting married this one time, and the guy marrying us was like, Spencer. Oh, you thought I was gonna marry a guy? Well, is that a bad idea? Because I have lived with women and I can see the advantages of living with a guy. Like it feels like there's upsides, and but we'll circle back. Are you guys? What's your status? Married? You're not married. What are you doing later? I was just wondering what your guys' plans are. Oh, she's surprised. Like this. Why did you come with him? You don't think he's a catch? You're surprised? She looks like, why would he talk to this guy? It's your second date? How's it going? I mean, is there a number 3? What do you think? Oh, okay, no, he's giving me the look. All right, I'll wave you off. No, I'm on your team. Wait. You keep up the good work. I'm proud of you. Love is fake. Anyways, I was getting married this one time. And the guy marrying us was like, Spencer, do you take this woman? So I had to stop him. I had to interrupt my own wedding to be like, I'm sorry, but actually it's just Spence. And then he got all miffed. He was acting like I just jumped in to tell him, well, you know, my friends call me Cooter. And like now he's decided this is gonna be like this teachable moment for him. He's like, well, Spencer, when it's a special occasion like your wedding, we'd like to use your full name. And it's like, okay, well, so I guess probably we'd want to do the one that I mentioned, just barely. That would be the most accurate. That pissed him off even more. Now, he's looking over at my parents, like he's expecting them to intervene, like they're supposed to come over and spank me for being insolent on my wedding. But they're like, we did do that. We're silly. And he was like, well, that's stupid. And then he married us. And you know what? Didn't work out. It did. I feel like probably his fault. You can't run around marrying people with a bad attitude like that. What do you think was gonna happen? He's like, well, Spence, you may now kiss the bride and my ass. That's not till death do us part. That's just long enough to leave a kid without a father. That's how I'm Matt's dad. That's fine. Oh, everyone's sad. But yeah, it's just Spence, and it always has been. This isn't me like suddenly trying to rebrand, like get my name right. It's always been Spence. This has been my battle forever. I'm not like doing the Mormon thing where it's I'm like, actually, this is only, you know what, actually, I guess I kind of am doing the Mormon thing because, like, I'm telling you that my name is this shorter thing than what most people are saying. And they're like, actually, our name is this is what our actual name is, but it's like this, it's like a full paragraph. And I like, so it's kind of the same. Like, so I'll get everyone up to speed. Like, Mormons are not supposed to be called Mormon anymore. Someone said they're weird. I'm like, don't talk about your neighbors like that. But, like, they're weird. They brought me cookies, but they're weird. But they said that we can't be called Mormon. You can't call them Mormon anymore because that's not their name. Like, it's this other. And frankly, you should just be able to tell someone, please call me this, and we're like, okay, that's fine. That's what you want. But then they were like, they decided to go kind of next level with it, almost as if they thought they were doing something that people might think was stupid. And because then they said, yeah, like every time someone says the name Mormon, that's a victory for Satan. This is real. This is in the news. Like it sounds like something that I would make up because it is pretty funny, but it's real. Like they said, every time you call Mormon, like it's a victory for Satan, which is wild to think about because that's always what we've said. But it's always been more like forever. Like that Satan has been racking up so many W's. Like how did that even happen? How did that happen? Like I'm assuming if we turn back the clock, what we find, like we go back, there was probably a meeting, and everyone was there, and they're like, okay, look, we've just built this tabernacle, this is pretty nice, and we've got this choir that people seem to like. What we don't have is a great name for them. Does anyone have any ideas? And then someone in the back of the room was like, I might have a suggestion. And like, yes, you the one with hooves for feet surrounded in fire? What was? And he was like, what if we said it was the Mormon Tabernacle Choir? And everyone else in the room was like, oh, wow, yeah, we love it. His enthusiasm, A+. And then I'm just assuming from that point on, like every time there was a meeting where they needed to name someone, guess who was there? Like the internet got invented and now there's websites and they're like, oh, well, I guess now we need a website for our stuff, but what? We don't have a name. Does anyone have any ideas for what we should call our website? And there they were in the back of the room like, I think I have an idea. And, Mormon.org was born. And fast forward a few more years and there's a multi-million-dollar, decade-long marketing campaign. That's theme was, I'm a Mormon. And I don't know who was behind that one specifically, but I have my suspicions. And I'm assuming that one day there in the Mormon marketing department, there was like a new guy or something, and he's like, hey, you, you, the one with the horns and holding the pitchfork, I know you've worked here forever, and I should know your name, and I don't. What was your name again? And he was like, and disappeared in a pillar of fire. And then everyone else was like, saw that, and they was like, oh no. Hey, you know the guy who's been naming all the stuff? He's for sure the devil. We're gonna need to have another meeting. So anyways, it's just Spence. And that's all I was trying to say. And I am from Cache Valley. That's true. It's really true. That's where I'm from, and it's a little different there than here. Like you see different things. Like just getting here, it was just a reminder of where I live. Like as I pull up to the one stoplight in town, and that's not true. We've got like 7, and right next to me is this big old Cummins pickup. Like he's got his like 36-inch tires, like a 10-inch lift. Like he's just way up there, and I know people are like, wow, sounds like somebody's compensating for something, and I'm like, I mean, is he, like, you don't know it. Like, people say that, I'm like, how do you know? You don't know. Like, you think as the truck's big, he's got a teeny-peeny situation, but look, just because he's 5'5" doesn't mean that everything's teeny. You don't know. You've not seen. Frankly, I think it's probably more of a height issue. Like, someone trying to feel a little bigger, which I totally get. I totally get it. We live in a society that prefers height. Like, a majority of all Fortune 500 CEOs over 6 feet tall. There are viral TikToks of ladies like saying, look, if you want to be my man, but you ain't over 6 feet tall, you ain't gonna be my man. So I could see why you would want to do something to seem taller. You want to feel bigger. I totally get it. What I don't understand is why you would try and do it by driving a great big pickup truck. Because isn't that going to make you look even smaller? Like, I feel like if you're trying to look bigger, you should drive a teeny tiny truck. Like, you should drive a Power Wheels. Like, because you would look so big. Like, people would see you across the parking lot and they'd be like, holy shit, look at that guy. He's huge. He's like twice as big as it. Wow. He's like 1.5 times as big as his truck. What a big guy. He's so big. But instead, like, they see a great big pickup truck across the parking lot and people are like, oh my God, there's a baby falling out of that truck. Somebody catch that baby. If he falls and hits his soft spot before it's grown over, brain damage for life. And someone's there with the baby they just caught, like, this baby has a beard and just said the F word. He had these two big chrome smokestacks in the bed of his truck, you know, so like you could see every time he rolls coal, like it's just all up there. And like rolling coal is the thing, like if you drive a diesel, like you can modify it so that every time you hit the gas, like just big old black cloud of smoke everywhere, which is obviously a super cool thing to do, because like, then you can just be driving, maybe you're in your truck, you see some ladies that you think you might want to pick up, and you pull up and you're like, hey ladies, you know how the air was clean and smelled nice before I got here, and now it's all black and smoky and you're choking. That was me, I did that. So, you want in? No, okay, no, all right, fine. And yeah, it's one of those things, I guess, can you imagine if we could make our bodies roll coal? Would that be a cool thing to do? Like, you just, every time you got up and we're moving around, like every time I wanted to go somewhere, just I could make my body just roll coal and just walk around. People are like, oh, looks like Spence is on the move, good for him. Getting his steps in, I guess. Like, I don't know how he does it, if it's something he eats or if he had something done, but wow, that sure is cool how it is. I hope he doesn't come over here. And then in between his smokestacks, he's got this big array of flags. In Cache Valley, we're still doing the flags. We like that. He's got a bunch. He's got his American flag, which is great because that's where we live, so nice to have that, just in case you forget, you know. Then he's got his next flag, like he's like way into politics, and he's got a preference, and that's what that flag was. Like he's looking forward to something. Like I didn't have the heart to tell him. I'm like, that actually already happened. And you are not going to be happy with the result. But look, I've been way into something, like so into it that I lost track of time. So like I know how it could happen, and so I get it. But his next, like he's like an animal rights guy also. So like he's his animal that he's trying to protect is snakes, and so like if you. Based on his flag, like if you do see a snake, if you could not tread on it, they hate that. So his last one, like he's got a Confederate flag. I'm like, all right, buddy, you gotta be done with that one. And I say it, people get upset every time I mention anything like that. They're like, hey, you can't talk about the Confederate flag like that, Spence. You see, you don't get it. You don't get it. See, it's not about hate. It's about heritage. I'm like, okay, but kind of a hateful heritage, don't you think? And they're like, no, look, my great-great-grandpappy died fighting for the Confederacy. I'm like, okay, look. My great-great-grandpappy died after he fled to Mexico because he wanted to keep his wife collection, and then was gunned down by Pancho Villa's men. But you don't see me running around waving a flag with 10 sets of boobs on it because I ain't proud of what great-great-grandpappy done. Like, he made a boo-boo, and that's... It's not the first thing I want everyone knowing about me when I roll up in my F-250. So let's put that flag away. Like looking at his flags, like I can't help but notice it does feel like there's a little bit of a trending towards like a losing theme here. And so like it's surprising to me that you don't also have a jazz flag because Yeah, I wanted them to win too, but they didn't. And so, seems like that would be a good option to replace your Confederate flag. Then on the back of his truck, on the back, across the whole tailgate, the entire tailgate, he's put this sticker on it that says Redneck. And I'm like, buddy, of all the unnecessary things you have added to this truck, this is the most unnecessary. Like, but he had to do it. He had to get it because, like, last thing he wants is someone driving by and thinking, "I wonder if that's a college professor." I don't think anyone was confused. So that's what's like in Cache Valley. As soon as you get out of Cache Valley, that's when you start seeing the billboards, all the billboards out here where you readers are. That's where. It's fine, you guys. I like the billboards. They're fun. Like I like to stay up to date. I do a lot of driving because I drive to shows. I know there are comedians who fly because they make money, but that's not what I do. Yeah, like I'm up to date on all the trends, all the billboard trends. I could tell you what's happening in the billboard world, and and I have favorites too. I had a favorite billboard. My favorite of all time was this billboard. There was this old lady sitting on a stool, and she was looking out at me, and she had this face like she's kind of sad, like felt like she was saying to me, like, "You said you were going to visit me when you put me in the home, but you never do," and it made me want to like say something, like, no, look, Grandma, I know I said that, but I didn't realize it was going to smell so much like old diapers and cookies with raisins in it, and it's made it harder to visit. And look, I don't want people to think I've come up here to be all anti-raisin. Like, I'm not anti-raisin, but I've just never eaten a cookie with raisins in it on purpose. Like, I always feel tricked whenever it happens. Like you walk in and you see a plate of cookies, you're like, oh, chocolate chip cookies, but maybe the room's not well lit, and it says, I forgot the number one rule. If the cookie looks inviting, first you check the lighting. And I went, and I went in, I was reckless. And next thing I know, I'm like, oh. Damn it, Grandma! Grandma Gladys, you got me again with your raisins. And she's like, well, in the Great Depression, we didn't have chocolate chips, so we had to use raisins. And I'm like, okay, look, I didn't come here to visit you so we could be nostalgic for the Great Depression. And now, frankly, I feel betrayed, and I'm angry, and I'm leaving. I've got to go. And it's like, but who's going to help me wash my used tinfoil? I'm like, I don't know. Somebody else. I think you're going to have to do it by yourself until you learn your lesson. I will come back and help you fold it and put it away, though. But so that was the face that she has, that she's looking at you with. But then, like, the message, the writing on the billboard was said, "Are you ready for freedom from hemorrhoids?" I'm like, what? Who isn't ready? Like people driving by and seeing that, like, not right now. I mean, like, they do help out around the house, and we always watch The Bachelor together, so like the wording of that one was so, are you ready for freedom from hemorrhoids? Like, Grandma's like trying to like start a grassroots movement. They're like she's organizing a coup to overthrow hemorrhoids. And like, Grandma, That's not what you need to do. You're working too hard. Just ask the nurse. Just tell the nurse. And yeah, I realize they're gonna put on the gloves and got a tube and it's good Vaseline on it. And yeah, it's gonna be a little uncomfortable, but it's gonna free you from your hemorrhoids. Like you don't need to rally the troops or anything. But the real kicker on this billboard was that when you got close to it, you realized that the stool that Grandma's sitting on is made out of barbed wire and it's on fire. I'm like, Grandma, are you sure you even have hemorrhoids? I think you just need a different chair. Like, who made you sit on this? Did Matt do this? I realized we did save a bundle putting you in this nursing home, and now I regret it. I don't feel as good about it. They don't even have chocolate chips here. This place sucks. So I love that one. That one was fun. There's some that I don't know who are people thinking like it's in the billboard world right now. Vaginal rejuvenation surgery, very popular, very popular. It's hot. It's a hot one in the billboard world. So hot, I got to take a little drink break. Yeah, vaginal rejuvenation surgery, which I mean, you like do what you need to do, but I don't have an opinion here. Like I realize it doesn't matter what I think, but I do know that if I were a woman and I'm stuck in traffic on I-15 and I look up and see this billboard. Restore marital intimacy with vaginal rejuvenation surgery. Like, I think it might ruffle my lady feathers a little bit. Look, I mean, if someone is telling you the problem with your marriage is your unrejuvenated vagina, that sounds more like an asshole problem to me. So I guess the vaginal rejuvenation surgery is where they go in and get rid of that asshole for you. And then, maybe you should do it. Yeah, I mean, it's like, ladies, I have a feeling like your vaginas are great. And, like, if you're not sure, though, like, if you want a second opinion, look, I would be happy to take a look and let you know. Like, I'm an ally. But I think what we'd find is, yeah, your vagina's great. Like, it doesn't need to be rejuvenated. It just needs some better friends who aren't not so negative all the time. So that's what I think about that. I don't want to beat the vagina drum too much here, but I am also married, and like that's a thing you can do. Marriage, but you don't have to. You don't have to do it. Like, you can just not be married too. But I am married, and I say that like, and my wife and I now, like, we are super in love on Instagram. Like, we are. Oh man, we're so hot. We're so in love. Like just us, like sexy hugging up against an old fence, like, do you guys feel bad yet? Or like wearing matching t-shirts and holding hands on an old train bridge, all so we can get likes from people we hate. like comments like, oh, oh, look at you two. You so cute. You two look so happy. And we were, because we were about to jump. And my wife was like, but what about the kids? And I'm like, the kids? I thought that's why we were jumping. And then turned into a whole big thing, and now we're in a fight. And, I try and do things to make peace, like so that we can be happy. Like do things that she likes. Like she really likes to watch romantic comedies, and I mean, I don't mind them, they're fine, but I do feel like I've cracked the code. Like, I think I know, like, you're like, oh, look, oh man, that guy hates that girl. No way those two are ever getting together. And then, like, 40 minutes later, you're like, I'll be jammed. Look at that, they're together. Just like on the poster, who'da known? Who'da known? But then she finds out, like, his truck rolls coal or whatever. and then she's like, I'm out of here. And then he has to do a whole bunch of stuff to win her back. Like, he has to, like, train an elephant to grow her favorite flowers. He has to, like, fly to the moon and write her name in moon cheese. And then she sees it and, like, oh, yeah, no, look, that worked. They're in love again. And my wife looked over at me and she's like, why couldn't you at least try and love me like they do in the movies? And I thought I was trying. I don't know, like, why couldn't you at least try and love me like they do on the internet? Like, I mean, I guess maybe I could start training an elephant to grow your favorite flowers if you could call your one sister that I like and your hot friend, and they could come over and help with our marriage. Like, I'm doing my best. Being in Cache Valley, I don't know what you guys experienced, but what has it been? Like 18 months ago, we had this whole thing where suddenly it was really nice to drive to Salt Lake. There was like 3 weeks where no one was on the roads, and we were just like, yeah, let's do it. This is great. The whole highway's mine. And that was basically the shutdown for us. And I was like, it's great to travel now. That's how it was in Cache Valley. We pretended like COVID didn't exist. It does though, and it got us, but we weren't ready for it. It has kind of made me, it's confused me though. Like, I thought I knew who I was before coronavirus, and now, not so sure anymore. Like, you asked me before that all happened, like, who is Spence Roper? I'd tell you, oh, I'm a guy who likes to keep his feet clean, that's for sure. I only put on socks that are clean. If I take them off, I put on a new pair. It doesn't matter. I don't walk around barefoot either, because you know what, these feet, this is actually the only pair I have. And I want to keep them nice. I use them most days. These, don't want to get germs on them, so no barefoot for me. I like, that's who I am. But then we had coronavirus. There we were in the middle of the shutdown. Suddenly, I find like I'm more out of milk, and so I got to run to the supermarket to get some milk. And next thing you know, I was sitting there in the parking lot, digging around in my car because I forgot to bring a mask. So now I'm digging around the car looking for a mask so I could go into the store. And like, masks became my new loose change. Like, I'm like, hey, is there something under here? French fries, okay. And you know what, I did find a mask, though. I did find one on the floor of the car with like a muddy footprint on it, and like a crushed Cheeto, I think. Like, it was probably a Flamin' Hot. It was like kind of orange and yellow. And then, like, I grabbed the mask, and it's like all stiff because it got wet and then dried out again. And like, I take that mask and I put it on my face so I'll be safe from germs. Like, what's happening? Who am I? So I get out and now I'm walking into the supermarket confused, just ashamed, relieved that my feet can't see what I've just done because they would not be impressed. And get into the supermarket. And people are like, you could just not wear a mask, you know. And I realized that's true. I could have not worn a mask. That was also an option. But I wasn't going to do that either because as soon as you walked into this store, like into the supermarket without a mask, that's when you get someone who came up to you. They'd be like, hey, Patriot, the meeting to overthrow the government's Thursday at 9. And I'm like, this Thursday? Okay. I think I'm probably not going to be able to make it. I've got a thing. Got plans to not overthrow the government on Thursday. And also, like, Thursday at 9. That's a school night. Like, you're going to make me get a babysitter so I can be part of the revolution? This sounds like too much work. Mostly I just wear a mask so I don't have to talk to assholes. For the pandemic, I tell you, as a guy who loves his kids, I do have kids. That's also true. And because like turns out, super easy to make. Like it was not hard at all. Like, I made a few by accident. It is that easy. So easy to make. You don't have to sign a paper or anything. Like they are so easy to make. Like I could do it lying down, blindfolded, both hands tied behind my back. Okay, that's actually my favorite way. Oh my god. Do have kids, so, and I tell you, as a guy who loved his kids, but then the pandemic, the shutdown, suddenly found myself spending quite a bit of time with those kids, and I think now I would just tell you I'm a guy who has kids. That's the one thing that's for sure true. We had a couple kids get coronavirus. Like they came home and they had coronavirus. And it was kind of around Christmas, and someone in our family has a job that's essential, and she thinks she's hot shit. And then we decided, let's be smart about this. Got some kids with coronavirus. We could go get tested, get some sweet pandemic pay right over that Christmas holiday. We had it all figured out. As you know, kids live in the house with us with coronavirus, and so how could we not have it? So we went in and got tested, and guess what? No coronavirus. And that's when we realized, I guess we've just never been that close with our kids. Like, apparently social distancing has always been our parenting style. Oh yeah, I was out with out at a thing with my littlest mistake, the most recent one. Look, he's a very sweet little boy, little 4-year-old, and I love him very much, I think. And but he's not supposed to be here. That's the thing. But we were out at a thing, and like he needed to go to the bath, so take it to the public restroom, and we go in there, and everything's fine. Like, why do 4-year-olds touch so much stuff? That's crazy. And so we're about ready to get out of there, washing hands at the sink, when some guy walks in, sees us washing our hands in a public bathroom, and says, "Coronavirus got you running scared, huh?" I'm like, I mean, bathroom. I don't know what to... Like, I mean, I guess if us washing our hands is running scared, I would say the thing we're more running scared from right now would probably be like hepatitis A, hepatitis B, dysentery. Like he sees people washing their hands and he's like, oh, this is new. Like what? Like he misses the good old days, like when you were done using the bathroom, you just dipped your hands in the toilet and walked out saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Like he walking in, he sees sinks in the bathroom, he's like, huh, when they put these in? Like I don't know what this guy's life is like. Like his whole family, they're all dead. They all died of typhoid because he made sandwiches one weekend, and but he couldn't be prouder because they didn't die hand washing cowards. That's for sure. I don't know what it's like in the town where he lives, but I'm assuming like they see him like, hey, look, that man right there, that is the bravest man I ever met. Old Poopy Hands Johnson. He's a real hero. Yeah, if you meet him, say hi. Don't shake his hand though. So it's been an interesting time. It's been an interesting time. I grew up in here, so religious community. I think about all sorts of things. Like I think about Jesus stuff sometimes because I just think it's interesting that we don't talk about like how much Jesus hated fishing, because like if you read the Bible, like it's very, very obvious. And I realize for you scriptorians, like anyone, like I don't know, I don't want to upset any like seminary graduates here, but like I know that there's no scripture where Jesus is like, fishing, no thanks. But look, if you load up in a boat with your buddies to go fishing, and then they take you out into the middle of the sea to go fishing, and then you just get out of that boat and walk away. We're like, okay, we get it. You don't like fishing. Like, you could have just not come. That was awesome. And I feel like the rest of the Bible, from that point on, is just Jesus making pretty elaborate excuses to get out of fishing. Like he once fed like 6,000 people with just one single fish, and like I'm sure like his buddies came up to him and they're like, wow, all these people, they're starving. They are starving, so I guess we should probably go fishing, right? We gotta go fishing, get some fish for these people. And he's like, well, we could do that. Or I could just turn this one fish into a whole bunch of fish, and then we wouldn't go fishing. Let's do that this time. But maybe next time fishing, we'll see. And like there at one point, like I'm assuming like his friends probably all came up to him and they're like, hey Jesus, we've got this amazing 30-day fishing vacation planned. It's just gonna be us, the boat, and fishing, and you're gonna love it. You gotta come. And he was like, ooh, 30 days, okay, wow. That sounds like something I would like, but I've got to go out in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights, and like the devil's actually going to meet me there, and you know how he gets. I guess he's got some naming ideas he wants to run by me, and so I'd like to go, but I wish I could, but I can't. Sorry guys, I'm not going to be able to make it. And I think like the important takeaway for me is like the Bible, like I think it teaches, it says something like about kindness, but also another message real obvious to me, that fishing, not for everybody. Like lots of people love it. It's a pastime. It's great. And that's it. But it's okay if you don't. Jesus hated it. And so some people are upset by that. They don't like it. They're like, Spence, you can't say that. That's Jesus comes back. He's gonna want to have a word with you. And I mean, I don't know. Like maybe It seems like there's probably going to be some other people he may want to talk to first. I don't know. Like, even if comedians were the very first group that he talked to, I think at best I'm going to be like number 3 or 4 on his list. And then like when Jesus comes back, you think he hasn't come back yet? How do you know? How do you know he hasn't come back? When he comes, like, was he going to tell you? Like, how do you? Because I know there have been a lot of work safety meetings where I was expected to be there and people were like, when's Spence gonna get here? But I was there. Like, I showed up and I saw who else was there and I was like, I am not staying for this. And I signed the roll and I left. But I was there and so how do you know he hasn't come back? Like he could come, if he came back here, which a lot of people think this would be his first choice. But if he did, first church he's going to walk into, odds are probably it's going to be one of our Mormon churches. It's going to be one of those. He's going to walk in. What's he going to see? Like the first thing he sees, like this painting of like sexy white Mormon Jesus. And he's going to be like, wait, is this who they're waiting for? I thought they were waiting for me, not this Silicon Valley tech executive who hasn't got back from Burning Man. I better just sneak out of here before anyone sees me and it gets uncomfortable. He just kind of shimmies out of there and then like starts walking. Now he's looking for like where are the people who are waiting for him, and then what's it gonna see? Like it's gonna see like the big crosses because the crosses are Christianity's symbol that we use to say Jesus. Yeah, we love what you've done, and it means like it represents something great. But I just think that if you didn't have someone explain that to you, like there could be a misunderstanding. Like I just know. If I went to a town and that town rallied together and beat me to death with like red crowbars, and then say like 2,000 years later, I'm like, you know what? It's been a while. I need to go back to that town and see how things are. Just check in. And I got there, there's like giant red crowbars on the buildings. I'd be like, okay, they're still pissed. I thought they might not be, but they are. Okay. I better get out of here. And I just assume he's probably walking. He's seeing like these crosses everywhere. He's like, really? They're still not over this? And he's walking till like finally like he finds someone burning a cross. And he's like, okay, finally, it's someone who's over it. It's crazy. I had to walk all the way to northern Idaho to find these guys. Wow. Hey guys, I think you might be looking for me, right? And they're like, yeah, it's a Muslim. Get him. And he's like, what? No, I'm not a Muslim, guys. I'm a Jew. Or they're like, yeah, still get him. And then he could be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go. And like he bumps into some preacher. Something's like, yeah, I'm out of here. Like, oh no, wait, you can't go. And he's like, oh no, I gotta do it. And he's like, no, there's the cross thing. That means we use that because like we love you. That's why that's what it's for. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. That was like the worst day for me. So. Like, do you have like any other symbol? Like, is there anything? He's like, oh yeah, we totally do. He's like, oh great, what is that? He's like, it's a fish. He's like, okay, I'm still going. All right, you guys, that is it for me. You have been amazing. Thank you so much. My name is Spence. You have a wonderful evening.
Spence Roper, everybody! Oh, man, what a great... You guys are a great audience. Enjoy the rest of your night. Make sure to visit wiseguyscomedy.com to see the other shows we got, and drive home safe. Thanks for coming out.